Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Are you on mute?
Hello.
There you are. I thought you couldn't find the link.
So sorry, it was on multiple. So I'm using my laptop right now, and it was on my PC. I had to transfer to my phone and stuff. So.
Okay. Just one thing, make sure you don't hit your laptop because the camera's wobbling.
All right, I will make sure not to do that.
Like a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
I will be
How are
extra
you?
careful.
That's okay, no worries. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing well. Quite happy about the U.S. election results. So,
I've heard that from a lot of people.
oh my gosh, because I'm from Pennsylvania, so I don't know if you've
Oh
been
shit!
following.
So you're from the swing states, there?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually from Harrisburg, so one of the blue counties. So.
Okay. Wait, I want
Yeah.
to check if it's really wobbly, cause
Yeah, it is very wobbly.
it's the table. One of the legs came out last night, so I tried fixing it, like an Insta fix.
Oh, jeez.
Or I could get on my phone and use my PC, because the video would be like weird in a way. It'll be like angled.
No, it's fine. Just try and be like, don't touch it. Like, don't put your hands on the table if you can. But if you're sharing the screen, it should be okay, because then we can
Oh, okay, sweet.
cut that in. So when we're doing the intro. Yeah, so just to go over a few things before people start joining. We have like 12 people sign up, so that's pretty cool, more than normal. So I guess we'll just start in with about really what is a landing page and how would it be different than a traditional sort of practice group page. And just we'll kind of cover the fact that law firms don't really use a landing page, right? Because landing pages have like a single like goal, right? A single goal to action. A normal law firm page has many goals.
Yes, right? I'm gonna go deep into that.
Yeah. So we'll just do the quick intro. We'll keep it relatively short, yeah. And then the second one is sort of setting it up. How can we integrate it? What would that look like for a law firm? And just go over through some examples.
Sweet. So that's when I'll be like sharing my screen, and so I have like a whiteboard. So on Zoom, you can do like, so I'll be drawing it out. So that'll be an interesting experience.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. That'll be fun. Yeah, no, that makes it more interesting for the viewers as opposed to just two talking heads,
Right. And can you enable screen sharing, please?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. And I'm pretty sure, so like from what you mentioned, you're like ahead of the curve in terms of, what a landing page is and stuff. So I'll try to.
Zico Law or me?
Oh, you in general. So
Yeah.
because in terms of like, so you can be like, all right, look, I don't know what that is because what's technical for me or what's technical for you may not be technical for me. So I'm trying to like, make sure that everyone understands. So it's all good.
Yep, good, good. And even after remember we had that call about landing pages, I'm still not clear of what it would look, like how it would look. So, yeah, so we'll see.
All right, awesome.
And you also mentioned ClickFunnels in the prep document. So I'm aware of ClickFunnels, but I didn't know you could like do it as sort of a standalone and then have that direct to your website or something. So that might be.
So so let's say it's more for like a solopreneur or like a solo like so guy. So let's say for like Mark, right, the Australian dude, he's trying to set up a landing page. It would be great for him. Or if it's like a small scale law firm, it's perfect. But once you have like let's say like Zika Law, there's like so many publications, and that's when you'll need like a better tool. So that is just for like you're just starting out and you're like, I want like, just people to contact me. It's like a simple website. But if you have like, like a lot of, so you have multiple practice groups in multiple countries, that's when it gets complicated.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, so originally it was supposed to be at 9 a.m. Singapore time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So people signed up for 10 a.m.?
Yeah. So they signed up correctly. I just had it in the calendar for us wrong.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, because I used a different meeting template, which has
okay.
Singapore time zone. So I set it for the Bangkok time, thinking it was Bangkok time zone, but it was Singapore.
Oh, okay.
Even after all those multiple checks, I still get
How's your week been so far? Is it good?
It's good. Yeah, not too bad. I just put out the one Eric Chin video, so that was good. Did an interview with Joe Escobedo yesterday. He's already put that video up about the BD Roundtable, so that was cool.
Wait, and I remember like I think it was like a bi-monthly. It was just like a general chit chat kind of. We talk about topics. What happened to that?
Well, like no one joins.
I try to make every session, but I understand where people come from.
Yeah, and the one doing it at 7 p.m. my time just was very hectic. So we'll probably pick it up again. It's just I want to get this backlog of videos edited first, and then.
Okay. So how many do you have on the back burner right now?
There's.
Because I'm really looking forward to the one with Karen. I don't think you uploaded that, or is that up?
Hold on, let me just double check. People should be signing in now. I don't know where everyone is. You registered, right? And then you clicked on a link, right?
Yes.
Okay. So call schedule. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 to be edited.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. The one with.
So is that like your weekend activity?
It's the week activity, so I do that. So I just edited the Amy Burton Broadley one about bids and proposals.
Okay.
Okay. Let's give it a few more minutes.
Sure.
12 people signed up and registered. They should be.
Do you think did you put a reminder in like, hey, we're on Slack?
Yep. All that good stuff. Because one of the reasons I did the reminders so people can add it to their calendar easily and then get the reminder email. So it should send people the reminder email when they register.
Wait, so what's the most someone's had on a call? I'm curious.
It was a referrals one with Nexo that was maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Whoa, okay. Wait, so if all the people joined today, I'd have the top spot.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So at least now I know. I think so. I don't know if you noticed on my LinkedIn, right? So I'm trying to, go for more loyalty. So the content is very numbed down. So it's like dumbed down. It's like, oh, what is SEO? So I think I'm gonna start like a separate for our group only, where I go over a bit more of the technical stuff, so that people can actually, implement it as a BD person.
Yeah. I don't know if you listened to that podcast I sent you, but
The freelance one, right?
Yeah. They mentioned that, okay, you don't sell yourself as an SEO expert because people don't think about the problems like, oh, I need an SEO expert. They think, hey, my website isn't getting traction. I need someone to help me build, So,
right.
All that sort of stuff. Because for us and you're kind of into the technical side, you're like, oh, SEO and search page optimization, all that sort of stuff. But someone who has a problem, they're not thinking about, oh, I need to find someone who can do this technical
Right.
thing.
It's more like general. It's like, oh, I know a website, so my problem is with the website. Yes.
Yes.
So who do you have on the next calls, like for the coming weeks? I should probably check that on my own.
Or again, I still need to do all the prep stuff. So we have coming up. Interviews. So we have content creation ideas with Joe Escobedo next week.
Okay.
We have you. We have oh wait, no, that's the wrong way.
Oh, I'd love to join that. Content creation ideas. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's next week. We have profiles with a purpose. So that's kind of about LinkedIn profiles with Lior Franks. That's hosted by Simon. We have another one called Appointing PR Agencies for Law Firms with Matt Baldwin. Again, Simon's doing that one. And there are a few from the Dubai host as well.
Oh, okay. Cool. Actually, one second. Let me try to get my earphones on. Will this be too distracting?
A bit. Do you?
I only have Bluetooth, and this one only. It's a pretty old laptop, so I'm trying to find like a wired earphone.
Now, can you hear me okay?
The audio is like a bit on the lower side. I tried adjusting it, so.
But your mic is okay.
Oh, it's the.
Hello?
Oh, now it's better. Oh, it's way better. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. I really don't. I'm kind of pissed off. I don't know where everyone is. I always have link anxiety, but people register, so they should get the correct link. You did, right?
Yes, but I have a feeling that when you originally sent it, so it said 9 a.m. Singapore time. Do you think people were like, oh, I came at 9 a.m. Singapore time? And
no, I signed in at 9 just in case people saw that and no one logged in at that time.
Right.
The registration is at 10, so when people add it to the calendar, it should.
Right. I don't mind like rescheduling, or I don't mind going ahead and doing it as well, because I want like people.
I think, we're all set up. We can always just go ahead and do it. And
all right.
If people join, then okay, great. Because let's just wait until 10 after.
Sure.
And then maybe we can do it as more of a, a standalone session is okay. No issue there.
Not a problem at all. At least you learn something. That'll be good. At least I help one person.
Well,
that'll be great.
Kind of,
That's all I need. That's all I need. If one person can take away something, that's all I need.
Yeah, I've been sending a lot of the raw unedited videos to people who can't make it. They say, hey, like they'll message me independently and say, hey, can I get a copy, an advanced copy of that? So I just send them the link through through Zoom.
So actually, I spoke to my business partner / best friend Ethan, and we are thinking of actually doing like a podcast style, but more like basically what you're doing, but for like SEO and content marketing. And we're thinking of like starting it off just for the group, because like For LinkedIn, it's like more lawyers, so it's like lower level content. But since BD personnel will be the ones that will be actually implementing it, so I think I can, you said, all right, I want to know about backlinking, but I don't know anything. So, so if you could advertise that once I'm actually doing that, that would be great. And I think you'll have a great time learning too.
Awesome. Yes, will be good.
All right.
I'm just going to resend this confirmation email to everyone.
So do you know who all signed up? I spoke to Marikar yesterday.
Yeah, Marikar, Christy, Paul Evans, Laurent Nguyen, Ashley Smith, Ben from Bangkok here. So like all the normal guys, but
Oh, it's all good. Oh, someone joined. Lauren.
There he is. There's Laurent. Hi, Laurent. You're on mute. I just wonder, we're having some issues with the link. Did you get, were you a bit confused about the time or?
Not at all. I'm just late as usual.
Okay. Because we had 12 people register and no one signed in yet. So I was wondering if the link was working or not.
I think I registered twice and the second time was good. I don't know what happened. So I'm not sure, but yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, so we're here with Kaushik. I think you've been on a few calls with Kaushik. So he's our resident website SEO expert guy. So this will be a good call for you, Laurent, to join because Laurent does a lot of website design as well. All right, so let's kick this off. Let me hide all non-participant video. 1 second here.
And I'll make sure I don't have any YouTube tabs open or anything.
Okay, recording, good to go. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining today. We're here with Kaushik, our resident SEO and website guru. We're going to be talking about law firm landing pages because we need some way to set our websites apart from everyone else, because if you've seen one law firm website, you've pretty much seen all of them. There are some golden nuggets in there, but hopefully using a landing page with a dedicated call to action will really help us with engagement. So I want to hand it over to Kaushik to really introduce what is the concept of a landing page and how is it different than just a normal practice group page?
Right. So hello, everyone. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free to stop me. So if it gets a bit too technical, feel free to shoot a question. So a landing page has one goal in mind. It's conversions. So basically, when someone comes to your website, your goal is to make sure that they have one action that they have to take. So usually for law firms, it's either signing up to the newsletter or getting them to click the contact form so they can contact with you and someone from your team reaches out to them, which is simple, which is clear, which is what I like, because you have the end goal in mind and it's very clear. The problem is a regular website. All right, this is a funny story that actually happened last year. So I was in Singapore with my aunt, and my aunt was like, all right, there's this street we have to go to, because during the day, it's like a regular road, but after like 7 p.m., like so the vehicles aren't allowed and they just convert into like food stalls. I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. So we went to check it out, but we parked our cars, we went there, and as soon as we entered the street, we had like 1 million people. So there's like Turkish restaurants, Malay restaurants, Vietnamese, Thai. It was all like, I was like, cool, I love food. I want to try all of them. But as soon as I entered the street with my aunt, literally everyone from those stores started coming up to our faces. They're like, hey, come to mine. They started pulling my aunt. They started showing menus in our faces. And that is what a typical law firm website experience is like. It's you have, all right, hey, look, I wrote this new blog article. Look, you shove it in their face and you're like, hey, look, I have a cool newsletter. Come join that. You're like, look, we have cool professionals working here. Look at our awards. And it's all overwhelming. And people just end up leaving the website And this is what we call in marketing terms, we call it a bounce rate. People just land on your homepage, they get so overwhelmed, they don't know what to do, and they just end up leaving. And that's what's happening to a lot of these medium-sized and to even big law firms, where they get a lot of traffic to their homepages, and they're supposed to be getting like hundreds of people contacting them every day. But what happens is they get maybe 5 a day because the traffic is not optimized. So they don't direct the traffic in the optimal way. And people are like, screw this, and they just end up leaving. So it's basically they're leaving money on the table. That's what a regular web page does. So a landing page is clearer, it directs you in a proper way, and it has one goal in mind. So that is what well, that's the difference between a landing page and a web page.
Right, because I guess most people who come to a law firm, they have some problem in mind, right? So if they come to the home page, they're probably trying to find a way to get to that solution. Or if they're reading something from a LinkedIn post, right, clicking to some sort of article or some sort of topic, and it'll take them there, right?
Correct.
Right. So you mentioned that a landing page has sort of one goal in mind. So I want to compare it with just, let's say, a normal practice group page. So let's just pick banking and finance, right? You go into any law firm banking and finance practice group page, you're going to have sort of 1 or 2 paragraphs. You're going to have a few related content, maybe a brochure and a key contact, right?
Right.
How would that compare with a banking and finance landing page?
So let me actually share my screen and take you through examples.
Sure.
So let's actually start off with a B2C law firm. So I want to cover B2B and B2C. So this is an independent attorney, and he has his own web. So the entire website is a landing page, which is great because if you actually go through the entire thing, you'll notice that he has one call to action, which is for you to pick up the phone and call him for a free consultation. So he's not asking you to sign up to his newsletter. He's not be like, hey, look, I have this Clue blog article, read that. He's like, all right, I want you to contact me. And if you look at this entire page, it's designed in a way that it's convincing. So it's basically a sales page. So to convince you to pick up the phone and call him. So he has Google reviews. He's saying, look, we have the perfect team for you, for our clients, a team for the case. And he's like, he has a quote, and he has all his awards listed here in a cool way. He has testimonials from his clients, and he goes through the process of what happens when there's a criminal charge or the various technical steps involving the law. So, and at the bottom, he has a contact page too. So it's very clear. He has one goal in mind, and it's for you to pick up the phone and call him for a free consultation. So this is easier to implement for a B2C law firm because they're usually in one area and they have only one practice area as well. But for a B2B law firm, it gets a bit more technical.
Yeah, so the one thing very clear here, one call to action, and that would be easy to measure on the Google Analytics side, the conversion rates, all that good stuff. But like you said, this is very B2 to the consumer. But how about B2B?
Correct. So this is what is currently existing in the market. So, and a lot of law firms aren't even using landing pages. So this is one of Dannemeyer's pages, and it's for one particular service, and it's called Recordals, which is in the intellectual property district. So even if you look at this, I'll go through the entire page and we'll break it down as to why it's a good or a bad landing page. So I'll just give you a sample of what the page looks like. And let's go back up again. So this page it looks like their goal is for you to contact them, but they also have like a fact sheet, which is kind of confusing because a best landing page has one call to action. And here they explain about the product as to, what it does, the benefits of it, and so here, this is a good thing. So they have, once again, one call to action. They're telling you to contact them. They have testimonials, which is great. But the thing over here is these look really good, but the goal of a landing page is to make sure that you stay on that page. So if you click on this, so let me do it here, you get redirected to another page. And now you look at all these information available. So you have insights, you just end up looking at this and your mind just wanders around and you don't end up contacting them, which isn't what we want. We want them to contact.
Yeah, I always thought like you want people to start clicking on lots of different things to take them to different parts of the website. So the Google search engine, you know, it sort of keeps them on the page longer, right?
Right.
So this is a little bit.
So it does keep you on your website longer, but if you want them to keep on one particular page, this is pretty inefficient. So overall website, the time spent on the website may be good, but it's just another fancy metric. It's not, doesn't lead to them contacting you. So instead of these buttons, if they just had more information about what docketing is or what data verification is, it would have made a better landing page. Once you scroll through the bottom, instead of having a contact form, they have links to other services that they offer, which goes against the point of what a landing page is supposed to do. So overall, the design is pretty good that I can give in terms of layout, but in terms of call to action, it's pretty inefficient. So that's the thing. And so I spent the entire weekend looking for B2B law firms that are utilizing landing pages, and I couldn't find any. So my goal is to educate you so that you can use it for your law firm as well.
So for me, a very clear example of like a landing page would be if we're holding an event or a webinar, right? That's sort of like a separate page. You're not wanting people to look at your various practice groups. You want people to know about the event. These are the details, and this is what you click to register, and there you go, right?
Correct.
But with a law firm's website, what you're saying is we should create like separate. I mean, is this separate from the website, or is this included?
No. So I think you should make the entire website a landing page. I will get to that in a minute. So some other industries that are using, so I know everyone uses Slack, and our group uses Slack as well. So Slack became really popular for having one of the best landing pages. So I'll show you an example. So this is the entire Slack website. So, and this is a landing page, and they have only two calls. So it's basically one call to action split into two parts. It's one is telling them, so wanting you to sign up, or if you're an existing user, they want you to upgrade your plan. So they go over the benefits, bring your team together. It's like you can connect, you can share files, you can collaborate. It makes communication easier. And as social proof, they're like, oh, we work with over 750,000 companies, and they have the companies that they work with as logos, which is really good because these are big startups as well. Grab and A&G, they're big companies and they're popular. And they just go over the benefits of it. And at the end of it, so they have links to blog articles, which is okay because it's their entire website. It's okay to have a few blog articles. And even at the end, it's either they're telling you to sign up, or if you're an enterprise user, they want you to contact sales so that the entire thing is directed towards you either signing up, upgrading a plan, or reaching out to sales for an enterprise solution. So this is a really good landing page, which is used in, and this is like the SaaS industry. And similarly, Dropbox, I don't know if you use Dropbox. Dropbox has a similar landing page where they want you to either sign up, or if you further scroll down, they want you to upgrade your plan, which is exactly similar to Slack. And it leads to one thing, which is either signing up or upgrade your plan, which is very efficient.
So basically, landing page, you just want to have a very clear goal.
Correct.
Right?
So the problem I noticed,
not too many paths to go down.
So I have this thing that, so if it takes more than 4 clicks for a potential lead to contact you, they're not going to contact you. So it has to be less than, so ideally it has to be 2 to 3 clicks. And the problem with the current law firm website is that all the partners and the BD team, they want to make it fancy and look good, but the concept, so simpler the website, better it is for conversions, and more fancy it gets. There's a lot of elements involved, and people are easily distracted. And so you don't end up generating the leads that you can actually generate. So basically leaving money on the table.
Okay.
So this, I want to show you so we're actually going to design a landing page for a supposed law firm today. And this is the example that I'm going to use. So if you look at this, I'll go over this place. So they're one of the top blogs for growth strategy and marketing tactics. So I'll go over the page and I'll review it, and we'll make a sample landing page for ABC law firm.
Okay.
So this is their entire website / homepage. It looks very simple. I mean, I would change the design according to your, branding and logos and color schemes, but they want you, if you look at the website, they have one call to action. They want you to subscribe to their newsletter. So they have social proof. They've been featured in Forbes, the Entrepreneur Magazine, Salesforce, and here they have clear categories, and they have links to their top blog articles. And if you scroll further down, they have one call to action. And if you look at everything, it's sign up to their newsletter. So that's what it's leading them to. So in our example today, I'm gonna assume that we're a law firm and we have multiple practice groups situated in multiple countries. So I will tell you how to design a landing page for that.
Okay.
1 second. So let's go to the drawing board. I couldn't find examples, so I'm forced to draw it over here.
Okay. Hey, I'm seeing some boxes in front of it. I can't really see what you're drawing.
I will. How about now?
Make sure you share the app. There you go. Okay.
All right. Is it better?
There's still a few boxes. How about you draw something?
Oh, okay. Let me. I think I might have to redo it. 1 second.
And make sure you share the application, not your screen.
Yes. Can you see it?
It looks the same, but try and draw something. I see a box. Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Great. That's a great start. So let's assume this is our sample website, and this is the entire homepage. So people land on your homepage, and let's say, so this law firm has multiple offices in Southeast Asia. So let's say they're situated in Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. And so this is what the website would look like. 1 second. I will try to. So this will be the first section. So it'll have the locations, the blog, and a contact page. So if you scroll over, is it clear? Is the screen clear? So if you scroll over the locations, it'll tell you which countries they're situated in. And for the blogs, they'll have various categories. And if they're already warm traffic, they will directly contact you. So very simple. It only has 3 sections. It's not too complicated. So you're not telling them to sign up to their newsletter. So then you have the next section where, let's say, you want to feature awards that you received. So let's say you were in some chamber of commerce or some top legal award. You were in the Legal 500. So you can put logos of your awards. So that'll be ideal. And the next step will be you wrote some top blog articles and you want to feature it on your homepage. And a key thing to remember here is you do not upload publications, because publications usually are very lengthy. So they're anywhere from 10 to 60 pages, and people lose attention, and they can't, if it's like in an article format where it's 800 to 1,000 words, it's perfect. And finally, 1 second.
Okay, so that's going to cause a lot of contention with most law firms not uploading publications and PDFs and stuff. So I'll ask you about that in the Q&A.
Sure.
Because I have some questions about that.
All right, and let's say you have a lot of customer testimonials. You can feature them here. So basically, you're creating a pathway where the only option for them is to they land on your website, and based on where they're situated, they go to a location. And let's say in this case, they want services in Vietnam. The only option for them would be so they can have a look at your logos, they can have a look at your blog articles, testimonials, but at the end of the day, they'll be redirected to a particular location. And in this case, we're going to assume they want some legal services in Vietnam. So, and they click the Vietnam option and they're redirected to a second page. That's what I'm drawing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the entire website. And all right, 1 second. I'm still new to this, so give me a second.
So they clicked on Vietnam. Now they're taken to the Vietnam.
Yeah, so they're in the country, they're in the region, and these small boxes are practice areas. So this will be, let's say,
this is looking like most law firm websites right now, right?
Exactly, but most law firms have it at the top, and there's too many activities going on. So this, gives them a clear pathway. So they go from location to practice area to information about the practice area. So let's say this is litigation, and this could be, let's say they do everything, healthcare, and this is other practice areas. So now you can feature awards that you received in that particular country. So in this case, it'll be Vietnam. So if you received a lot of awards in the local Vietnamese groups, you can feature them here, and you can feature about the firm in Vietnam only. Sorry.
Yeah, Vietnam.
All right, in Vietnam only. And an important thing, this is for SEO part of it, is to include a map of the office's location. Because since they're in the particular region and it may not be very likely, or it could be based on the region, it's very likely that they just walk in and want your services. So including a map to the location of the office is really important. So the first step would be they'll land on your entire website and they choose a location. So once they choose a location, all the practice groups will be featured and awards that you received in that country, about the firm in that country, and a map location to the office in that country. And let's say in this case, they click healthcare, they'll be directed to a third page. So these are all, so we're at 2 clicks right now. So this will be the third click. So this will be the website.
So there were really no call to actions on the previous pages.
Correct, that's the thing. So
it's just like filtering.
Yes, so we're filtering. So if you don't get to the second click, they're probably going to be a bad lead anyway. So it's a process of filtering and making sure so this ensures that the leads are higher quality and they're warmer too. So this section will be 1 second.
While you're drawing, so like whenever we're sending out a legal alert for one of those practice groups, we can just direct it to that particular article, or like?
So that's the thing. So you have to determine what your goal has to be. If your goal is, so let's say you set up a new practice page, and the goal of the practice page is to collect newsletters because you still didn't get your reputation up, or you want more people to be part of your content marketing network. So you can choose your goal to be signing up to the newsletter, but if they're already warmer traffic, you can redirect them to this sequence where they'll be able to contact you. 1 second, let me finish drawing this so I can explain the goals better. how's this new way of explaining? Is it easier to understand, or
you might next time you might want to draw instead of like use a
oh, okay.
like an iPad or something.
I am. Let me try. I'm not great at drawing, so achievements you can have. So once again, so this will be testimonials related to that country and that practice area, awards and achievements in that country and that practice area. So it'll be it'll be very niche, and the go-to contacts, so the professionals. So let's say key contacts.
And this is in the healthcare, but you don't put any posts, blog posts?
No. So the entire goal of, so if we were to put a blog article here, it will redirect them to another page, which goes against the point of the landing page, where our goal is for either for them to sign up to the newsletter or contact us. If they want to read blog articles, they can go back to the homepage and go to the blog section and look for blog articles. And the final thing
That's
will
going
be
against sort of the normal convention, because most of the time
exactly.
you would put up like a blog post archive in the relevant practice group just to sort of show your expertise, right?
Right. So that's the thing. So you show your expertise in your email newsletters, and you don't show them on the website, which is what a lot of law firms are getting it incorrectly, because the traffic on the website is either they want to familiarize with you, so, and you get them on the newsletter, or they already know about you, and your goal should be to make them contact you.
Oh.
So this is what the final page would look like. So let's say we got from Vietnam to healthcare, and here you explain how you can help them. So don't be humble. You can brag about your awards, your achievements, customer testimonials, and what cases you worked on, your key contacts. So the thing you should make sure here is the contact should be like statically present on the web page, meaning that if they click on them, they shouldn't be redirected to another page, because we want people to stay here. And after going through this, so the goal could be either to contact your firm or sign up to the newsletter.
Okay, so we have to be very focused on the funnel and how we bring people to where we want them to go and what we want them to do there.
Right. So if you give people an option of where they can go and what they can do, they're going to get overwhelmed and they won't end up doing anything. So if you give them a correct pathway, it'll be very efficient.
Okay, so it's like me walking into an ice cream shop. I hate it because there's too many options. I would rather have, okay, here's 4 options, you pick one.
So that's what happened when I went to the States. I went to Walmart for the first time 2 years ago, and I went to the candy section and I was like, all right, which one do I pick? There's like 100 different candy there. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to get anything.
All right, so we're coming up on time. We'll transition into the Q&A where we can drill into a little bit more of these specifics. But for those who are watching us on YouTube, what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
So I have my own blog. You can read my articles at valeolegalmarketing.com. And the best way to contact me would be via email or LinkedIn. For my email, it's kaushik@valeolegalmarketing.com, or LinkedIn would be Kaushik Prakash, and it'll be a gleaming picture of me smiling in a suit, and you can find me there.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay, so let's go into the Q&A session. So I'm going to show everyone's. Okay, so I have some conflicting thoughts about this. I'm sure Laurent has some questions and concerns, because Laurent, you basically build law firms or build websites for law firms. Let's just open up to any questions. Do you have any comments or questions about the whole idea of a landing page for a law firm?
Well, the 2 takeaways that I have from this good presentation and these insights are, we should be treating any page like landing page with a clear objective per page. So that's one thing. The second aspect is and we have to imagine accordingly the path of the reader and according to our objective. So we have to build the whole structure of the website according to that. The second aspect of what you said is I have a sort of I don't know, contradiction with what should be a homepage and what should and landing page, because actually you've highlighted examples of very simple actually law firms with let's say one product, and very often, and William knows this extremely well, we're dealing with law firms which who have actually many locations, many industry sectors, many practice areas, and actually we need to and so in that perspective we are dealing with a very wide range of readers with various areas of interest, which means that I have, maybe I was wrong, I don't know, but maybe you will tell me, always treated a homepage like a page where actually you could be redirected virtually to any kind of major areas of interest that the firm wants to promote. And then you would drive the reader to the path that you actually want him to follow. And then you would subsequently build your secondary page, eventually your third page, but I don't like third page level, and with corresponding information, and then of course call to action. So
that's a really good point, because there's a lot of industries, a lot of practice groups, and I think that is one way to approach it. But oftentimes, how you direct them from the homepage, how the firm wants to direct them from the homepage to, let's say, a major segment, it's not very efficient, because I've noticed where even like the bigger law firms, so like Denemeyer, so they try to do that through one big blog article, or let's say a case update. They try to do that, and oftentimes people get lost along the way because there's too many factors involved. Like I said, it's very overwhelming and people just lose them. So one good thing I've noticed that is you could try to do that, but I think pre-warming clients by getting them onto the newsletter is way more efficient. So my concept is so the newsletter and the landing page work hand in hand. So once you have them in the newsletter, they're warmed up to your content, then you get them on the landing page, and where they'll be more easily prone to contact you because they're warmed up to your content, and it's more efficient, and they won't be like, all right, look, I can go here. And the way a lot of law firms are designed is it's very confusing. It's like, all right, do I go to the location first or do I go to the industry first? Okay, I don't know which one to go to, and people get overwhelmed and they just leave the website.
So last night I was helping my wife shop online for some clothes, and we went to some of the major clothing websites, and it is super easy to find what you're looking for, right? Men, women, children.
Right.
What are you? Okay. And then they go down into the types of, accessories, pants, shirts, all that sort of thing, right? So their products are very clear. Law firm products, we don't really have products, right? We're selling solutions to problems. So, it's difficult on the landing page to filter. One website I do like is Legal Vision. If you go on the Legal Vision, one of the first things on their homepage is, are you an in-house counsel? Are you an SME? Are you this or are you this? So you kind of, you filter out who those people are, and it takes them to the relevant pages.
Correct. So even so a lot of websites. So can I use Zico as an example here? I know it's going to be outdated, or is that okay?
Yeah, we're gonna we're making some changes to our homepage coming up.
Okay, so the current Zico website, so the homepage looks like, so you have all the industries and the practice groups, and you have locations. So my question was, let's say I go to the industry first instead of the industry first instead of the location. My question is, all right, do they offer solutions for that industry in that country? So do you see where I'm getting from? So I'm like, oh, but so let's say instead of let's say I want banking solution and Zcurl offers that. And I'm situated in Vietnam. So I end up going through all that process and I end up finding, okay, you don't provide banking services in Vietnam. And I just wasted a whole 1 or 2 minutes of my life. So
I think
I'm going to get
firms, right? The law firms want to position themselves as, okay, we can help you anywhere with anything.
So public, so for image is a big thing, but at the same time, you have to treat your website as like a sales machine. I know it's a shitty way to put it, but it's like saying, all right, look at the numbers. It's like our goal is conversions. It's either sign up to the newsletter, or once you sign up to the newsletter, we're gonna like send out a lot of blog articles, and they'll get warmed up to what we do, how we can help them, how we've helped clients in the past. So once you do that,
yeah, it's a bit of a mental shift, right? Because most firms think of their website as a digital brochure.
Correct.
But really, we should be thinking about it, okay, as a sales tool.
Exactly.
Getting them to do something.
That's correct. So that's the mental, I hope. So one thing you learned from this one is don't treat your website like a brochure, but treat it more as a, like a sales funnel that you're churning. And
yeah, you also mentioned about we should be very hesitant about putting up PDFs and documents on the websites. And I tend to very much agree with that, because when was the last time you printed a PDF or you downloaded a PDF and you actually read it, right? People want to see that content. People want to see that content on the website. So, but it becomes very difficult when you have a nice PDF that, let's say, the knowledge management team creates or something. How can we convert that to website content, maintaining all of the nice graphics and all of that? That becomes difficult.
So let's say you talk about, so the PDF, it usually talks very in depth about one particular area. And there are multiple ways. So you can just break it down into certain sections, and depending on how the article is, that the BD team has to work with the partners or the lawyers who wrote that. So that'll be a difficult task. But one thing I would recommend is don't be like, all right, screw this PDF, but instead people you have in your newsletter, so they're more likely to read the entire PDF because they signed up to the newsletter. So I would suggest using PDFs for newsletters and using blog articles for the website. And I know it doesn't answer the question of how do you convert a PDF into blog articles. The simple answer would be try to break them down into like 6 to 10, like 800 to 1,000 word articles. If the PDF is like 60 or 70 pages, that's the only way to go about it. It's a very difficult task, but unfortunately, there's no other viable option. And that's so yes. So if a B2B law firm with multiple practice groups in multiple countries, I think one good way to be divide them into location, then industry practice area, and then it's very crystal clear as to what path they can take.
Okay. I have a final question about the call to action. So let's say one of the easiest call to actions on a law firm is to book a meeting, right? You want to book a meeting, you want to call someone, and because then you can carry on the sales chain or sales funnel.
Right.
So would you recommend we embed the contact form or embed sort of like a Calendly thing? Like how would you go about, what's the most efficient way to actually?
So I would embed a contact form, because what I've realized from Calendly links is I think oftentimes people feel like you're not valuing their time. That's something I've realized. So embed a contact form, and so they can fill out the details, what they're looking for, embed on the page itself.
Yeah,
So,
like in the page, not click here and then that takes you to another page. Put the forms in the page itself, right? Because
correct.
you're probably more inclined to fill it out.
Correct. Because they've gone to the location, the practice area, and they've read how you can help them. And so you have to be like, all right, time is a valuable resource. So you embed the contact form on the page and they can immediately fill it out. Because if you include a button, because that adds another click and that makes it less likely for them to go through with it. So embedding a contact page is the best way. Calendly links are, honestly, it feels like people feel like their time is not being valued. So, but having a contact form and being like, hey, look, our team will reach out to you and we appreciate your time. So that makes more sense. And it's better for conversions.
All right. I think I also have a question about chatbots and all of that, but we might have to say that for another call. Any quick thoughts on chatbots and all of that?
They're very efficient. I would use them and I wouldn't use them so I would try to use them in the landing homepage as well. But when they come to a specific practice area, that's when it becomes more efficient because you can modify. So, let's say they come to the Vietnam section and there you could add the local language. So you can give them a language option if they want it in Vietnamese or English and what service they're looking for. That's when you can pull out your branding and be like, hey, look, we have personnel who can speak these languages and they can help you out in all these languages as well. So that adds, it's like a small factor, but I think it goes a long way.
On the SEO side for a landing page, is there anything that we need to be doing to like kind of tell Google that, hey, this is a landing page, or, when they see the result in Google, is there any sort of alt text or whatever that we should be?
No, actually Google is pretty smart. So it'll recognize your landing page, AKA website, as a regular website. So from the SEO end for the BD team, there's nothing that needs to be done specifically.
But because I think for us, a lot of our traffic comes from Google, right? And then the other is from links that we send out on LinkedIn or whatever. So if people are Googling like Vietnam banking and finance, is there a way to like kind of direct them to skip past those initial clicks to get to where they want?
Oh, I think actually including that first click is very important because it shows that they took the time to actually, look through the homepage and actually click the location, then got to where they are. I think skipping that process will lower the quality of the leads as well. So I think for Google, just directing them to the homepage is very important.
And how can we analyze people's current behavior on the websites right now? I know Google search or Google Analytics you can do, but that's quite difficult to understand.
So there are tools that you can embed. So I think this, I would be happy to do another call on this. So I read customer behavior. So there are these multiple tools where you can actually look where the user spends the most amount of time by their mouse patterns. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I know that exists, but I haven't looked at any of the tools.
So there are softwares that you can basically embed a piece of code onto various pages. And you can be like, hey, look, this is where they're spending most of their time on and stuff like that. So that either makes it really efficient or inefficient. So it gives you all the data and you can, better optimize your website.
Right. But you'll be able to see, okay, this person clicked here and then most people click here after that. And then they click here, so you can see the journey.
So you could take the data from the Google Search Console and Analytics where it gives you the click data and also like the time that they stayed on the website. So let's say they stayed on the homepage for 4 seconds, you'll know where their mouse pattern was by their mouse movement. So let's say they got easily distracted and they just clicked a blog article and they didn't come back to the homepage. That's okay. So maybe you can put a more enticing article or something that'll be like, oh, look, it's a cool article. I want to read that. Or you can be like, all right, they're clicking the locations immediately. So that's great. Or if you realize more people are clicking on the blog instead of the location, you can like alter which section to put where. So it makes it more efficient for them to contact you. I'd be happy to do another call on that.
Okay, sure. Any final questions, Laurent, as we wrap up?
No, I think I'm well. Just one last comment. I noticed that more and more from the landing page from global law firms are actually more and more simple.
Yes.
They tend to be I mean, they're much more simple than before. Some and some consulting firm, they do the same, like the Big Four or McKinsey, etc. If I refer to what you were saying, is that sort of best practice to really simplify the homepage to one single objective, which could be indeed newsletter or anything else, or contact us, and then have a relevant main menu bar, which will actually really structure the content according to what you think the reader will search and how he will search.
That's exactly right. So the simpler, the better. You can go fancy, but that'll just be to impress the BD team, the partners. But in terms of getting actual results, it's very inefficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Minimalism,
Yes, that's 2020.
Easy. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. We'll certainly do a few more calls on and drilling into this topic a little bit more.
Right.
So awesome. Thanks for joining.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for coming, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Will. Thanks.
All right. Kaushik, you can stay on.
Oh, okay. Is Lauren muted or?
Okay, I removed him. Let me stop recording.